This video is one day, July 21st, 2026, and believe me, it deserves its own video. Now, the first train-related thing that happened on this day was not me seeing a physical train. It was me looking at heritage units in the morning and staring at the Delsler rail cam for hours. And the reason was simple. Over the last couple of days, CSX I-172 and I-170, eastbound BNSF transfer intermodals, had really good power, including an H1, 2 fake bonnets, and the golden swoosh. And I knew that night's train, I-171 heading back westbound, would have to have at least one of them on it, so I figured it would be worth catching. We'll get back to that later. However, I-171 normally doesn't go by Delsler until like 2:45 in the afternoon, so that morning we had time to head down to Union Mills for non-train related reasons. And on the way, we got stopped by a completely unexpected CN manifest with 2 SD75 IACCs in the lead. I absolutely love these things, so it's always nice when I get to see some. But the CN action did not stop there, because on our way back, we drove over a bridge by the Kingsbury grain elevator that went over the South Bend sub. And what did we see? If you guessed a headlight, you would be correct. So we turned off the highway and onto the access road to the Kingsbury grain elevator, and barely made it to the crossing before a CN intermodal rolled by with an X-City rail in second. After that, we headed back home, and I continued to watch the Delsler, Ohio rail cam for any sign of I-171. And when it eventually showed up, I was very excited. Now, out of an H1, a fake bonnet, or the golden swoosh, which one do you think they decided to put on I-171? Yeah, how about all three of them? The H1 was leading, a fake bonnet was in the middle of the consist, and second to last was the golden swoosh, in a consist made up of 7 engines. Needless to say, this was an absolute foam fest, so an hour and a half after it passed Walkerton, and we had gotten a report that it was in Auburn, Indiana, we headed down to Walkerton in an attempt to see it, thinking it would be there relatively soon because I-171 is a very fast train. We were, wrong. Once I actually got to Walkerton, I was able to meet up with 2 of my Railfan friends, Liam aka Northwest Indiana Railfan, and Emmett from Emmett's Rails, who I had only known about online before this, and I was very glad to finally meet him in person. I was very glad I had other Railfans to talk to, because oh boy, the line was fairly dead. We knew that the Garrett subdivision picked up on action in the evening, so we had quite a bit of a wait, but eventually, after about an hour and a half of sitting here with 0 trains, CSX M353 showed up with a nice YN2 trailing second. I would be happy about this if the shot wasn't horribly, unavoidably, disgustingly, abhorrently backlit. In the middle of the train, there was a rare opera center beam, which was kinda cool. After that, we spent a good while staring at heritage units for updates on I-171. We got several, including Syracuse, Napanee, and Bremen, and by this point we were confident that I-171 had to be really close. But it wasn't, because we saw a westbound headlight, and it was not I-171, it was M569 out of Garrett with a solo GEVO leader. While the power might not have been interesting, the rolling stock was, because right at the front of the train was a long cut of old Conrail spine cars, now lettered for New York Central, with 3 random coil cars in the middle. Absolutely no idea why these were here. Probably going for scrap if I had to guess. In addition to my camcorder, I also brought my old Canon A630 to grab a retro shot of this train. I really wanted a retro shot of I-171, so that's why I brought it, but spoiler alert, the camera ran out of memory before I-171 showed up. Shortly after, we saw more westbound headlights. Now we were sure it had to be I-171, until the ditch light started flashing. It was B157, one of my beloved Coke Express trains, which had been following right in front of I-171 for most of its journey. As per the previous reports, this train was going slow and on the opposite track, so we thought that I-171 would have passed it and would have gotten to Walkerton first, but nope. Being a coal train, I also grabbed a retro shot of this train too, which in retrospect I probably shouldn't have done to save memory, but whatever. As we expected, right behind B157 was I-171. However, now the sun had moved to the other side of the tracks, so all 3 of us Railfans scrambled to get to the non-backlit side before I-171 came flying by at 73 miles per hour with the absolutely most foamest Beansniff contest I've ever seen. And after that, we left, despite the fact there were 2 other super foamable trains coming, but we don't talk about those because I was really tired and hungry and we all wanted to leave. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to catch those units while you can, especially the ones that are part of ridiculous power moves made of concepts that absolutely should not exist in 2026, and I will see you in the next video.